left, realistically, it's probably easier to say when you win than when you lose. But, you know, Cork had 2 extra games than us. And if you're trying to develop players, you need games, right? And obviously the situation next year would, as it stands, unless Meath win the intermediate, only 1 team in Leinster. That's not the competition any of us want to see, because regardless, it's not trying to give an advantage to anyone. You just want to develop their players. That's an equal playing field for everyone to try and develop their players. So we weren't good up to 3 weeks ago. We were sporadically playing decent football. We were hugely impressed with the way these guys went about it, particularly over the last fortnight, and just the maturity in the group, and knowing that they had to get up a couple of notches, and the way they approached training, and the leadership they showed just to make the thing work. So look, we're incredibly proud of that performance today. I feel that's as hard as we've ever had to work, and I know sometimes you look at the scoreboard at the end, it was at 6 points. I felt, right, that game could have turned. There was a 10-minute period, we didn't score, even though we were in control, and all it has to is the ball go down the far end in the back of the net, and it's game on again. So look, I think everyone knows, if you look over the last decade, never mind what they have achieved, what they're producing at underage. We didn't come out of Leinster in 14, 16s and minors this year, so we're under no illusion as to the quality of footballers that they have. But we were absolutely chuffed and so proud of our group today, the way they went about their work.
Your best story about Nicole Owens before the match and now?
So she sustained a knee injury in the warm-up in the Monaghan game, and the work she's done to try and repair it, to get back for today, was just colossal. I think she's done something like 30 sessions, one-on-one sessions, and for her it's obviously a huge blow, because to do that and to get the setback within the first 5 minutes of the game, but the only thing I can say about that it just reveals the character that's in our group, that we have people who are willing to do whatever it takes to try to be successful. And sometimes it works for you and sometimes it doesn't, but that doesn't mean we're not proud of it.
Is she a major out now for minor?
So I wouldn't have any clue. I'm not a medic, and we'll have to get her MRI'd again and see what the situation is. It's going to be a tough road for her, but they're made of tough stuff.
And what was the height of the knee injury that she sustained beforehand?
What was the knee injury? Yeah. It was a ligament injury.
Okay. And so it's obviously looking at that again, trying to get it wrong.
Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. So we'll have to get that obviously assessed by our medical team and go at it again.
You do a serious bench to call on though.
Sorry?
You do a serious bench to call on.
Yeah, I suppose we were laughing about this as a management team. I suppose over the summer people were talking about the strength of other people's finishing team, and we probably wouldn't have been put in that bracket. If you look at people, say the likes of Cleve O'Connor or Una White, they've only developed in the last 6 or 7 weeks where I would see them as real threats to come into that squad. So it's amazing. That's the point about, like, you don't learn the same during the National League. It's not the same, that championship tempo where you can really blood players and see what they're made of, because it's a different environment. I mean, that Coliseum they walk into brings the best out of some people, but it can also make you fearful. And I certainly even felt in the first half today we played within ourselves because of it, you know.
Did you see much of Galway today?
Say?
Did you see much of Galway today?
Did I see much of them?
Yeah.
When you watch those matches and you're not playing them, you're in a blur. So, I wouldn't even. I saw there was 2 coloured teams out there wearing colour, and you watch it like you'd watch a game on the telly with no real interest, because your focus is completely elsewhere. So no. But I know a lot about Galway. In fact, at underage, a lot of this group would have been on the receiving end to Galway teams, and I certainly know my last involvement with women's football was in 2003, where we were beaten by a last minute goal by Mayo, and I would have backed that team to go on to win an All-Ireland in 2004, and they were 11 points up or 10 points up I think against Galway, and Galway beat them. And in 2005, the All-Ireland semi-final, Galway beat them. So those things stay with you. That's a mark of what they've done over the course of the years, and this group have been very, very successful at underage, so it's an All-Ireland final. It takes on a life of its own.
Carla, how would you compare that to last year's final?
Very similar, I suppose. It's such playing Cork is always a fantastic match, and it's such high pace. So from half time we were level going in, and we knew we just had to step it up again in order to see the game out. So it was very similar to last year.
You were kind of well on top to the very end, really, you did
we might have been on the scoreboard, but it certainly didn't feel like that at the end when those last 5 minutes come, and as Mick said, it could take a ball in the back of the net to turn a game, and we've seen that for 3 years. So you have to play it by play and score by score, and just keep pushing until that whistle goes.
You got a bit of a hard knock there. I think it was 10 minutes from the end, but you got back up straight away back into the action.
If you grew up in North County Dublin, you'd get straight up again as well.
Yeah, I just knew that if something was sore or not, I needed to get up and I needed to be there, and it could be that support run that pulls someone away or gets a score or something like that. So I just knew, get up and go. Look at it after.
In terms of that game today, I mean, it had kind of all the glitz, maybe a bit of an All-Ireland final, but still just one more game before a final. So
absolutely,
taking each game as it comes.
Yeah, it was game 5 of 6 games, and we can't get ahead of ourselves. Yes, it was a fantastic game, and it's brilliant to have got out to Croke Park today, and for 4 teams to be able to play there today with that crowd was a great day out. But we know that we have another game to go, and this game you won't be remembered for winning a semi-final. You'll be remembered for getting into a final and hopefully seeing how we go from there.
What was it like coming out onto the pitch vis-a-vis maybe an All-Ireland final? Like, I mean, it was 10,000 there today, there was 50,000 last year.
Yeah, very similar. You have to take these days as you can. Like, it's the first time ever that a semi-final has got in there, and personally I just like to take it in. On these days you want to perform and you want to play well as a team, and you want to do all you can for the county of Dublin, so you just have to enjoy it.
I personally think that was a great step forward for the LGFA, and I think they've done great work, and obviously it was a bit of a trial there today, but if you think about it this way, 10,000 is 9,000 if not more than what we had at our semi-final last year. So, you know, hopefully as the profile of the game keeps building, like, you'll get more and more at the semi-finals, and obviously, like, we love playing on the best surface in the country, so it's great for the sport.
The reality is Croke Park obviously has its own aura about it, and the stories and the history that goes with it, but to bring your family and your kids into Croke Park for any occasion is it's completely different than anywhere else. So they were terribly aware of the fact that coming into this today, it was a huge occasion, and Croke Park made it a bigger occasion. But I think if we're genuine about this as GA people, that's the way we have to go. I didn't bring up my kids for the fellas to play in Croke Park and the girls to play somewhere else. I didn't do that. So, I mean, if we talk about equality, we have to back it up, and we're very aware of the fact once you put your hand up for looking for equality, then we're very aware of the fact that we must deliver on our performances, because people come to be entertained here.
there was 3 Simmons in that game, which obviously had a big outcome, or big say in the outcome, because they played 20 minutes second half for 14. You handled your Simmons very well, it seems.
The Simmons.
Yeah, we handled.
I'm a big advocate of the yellow card. I was making the point to a pal of mine after the All-Ireland hurling final last week. Imagine Richie Hogan got a yellow card. We'd have been all happy. You would have said, right, okay, that's fair enough, he did deserve to go, and the game would have gone back on, and you could plan for those 10 minutes, which is obviously a factor of the women's game, that you have to plan for those 10 minutes. I'm not quite sure, do we score 2 points during that 10-minute period and not concede? I mean, that's game management, and we'd be delighted with those outcomes. And the fact that there's a likelihood of it taking place in a game, it means you have to plan for it more than you plan for conceding a penalty, or so it's the same situation, and I think we managed that one today particularly well.
That rivalry between Cork and Dublin, I suppose, it's defined the last decade, but for many years Cork were Dublin's actually seems back-to-back championship wins. You end the decade on a high against Cork, they're great rivals.
Back-to-back championship wins against Cork, like, we're great rivals with them.
Do you see the way they mind me?
Sorry.
You want to hear the team meetings, lads? It goes out on the intercom.
To tell Schneider to speak up.
We're Schneider.
What did you say? Back to back?
I suppose you end the rivalry between Cork and Dublin is kind of defined the decade, but they've been your Achilles heel for much of that decade, but no, you ended on a high back to back.
They were our Achilles heel for the last decade. They kind of were dominated us at the start of the decade, and we've gone back to back.
Yeah, look.
Kind of turned it.
Yeah.
First of all, winning the All-Ireland 2017 was huge. I mean, getting to this stage at any time. I mean, when you look at the overall, if you're to look at the sport from a helicopter view and you think, I'd want every footballer to experience that day once. I'd want everyone. That obviously isn't possible. It is, these next 3 weeks, in my estimation in sport, are the best 3 weeks of your life. You're obviously preparing at a really high level, which is what they do all the time, but with a view to playing in the biggest game of the year. That's what drives them to. I can understand how Cork became so dominant. This becomes a drug that you want it, and you want it as often as you can get it. Now, it's the adrenaline buzz that comes obviously from that. So I'm not quite sure, like winning an All-Ireland after what they had gone through over the 3 years that was the goal. It was no more than that at the start. And then obviously the minute we'd done that, we were told we hadn't beaten Cork. That was, and I'd say we had only left Croke Park and people had said that, right? So I even remember being approached in that night in a banquet, and that was what was said to me: you haven't beaten Cork. And you're there kind of saying, honestly guys, like, we beat who was put in front of us. We can only do that. So immediately the second year, there was probably a bigger focus because it was built up that we hadn't beaten Cork. Then that monkey was off their backs, which was huge. Now there's an incredible respect for any team that's gone to do what Cork have done. We wouldn't be fools not to. And in fairness to them, in the National League semi-final, we threw all our cards at them in that match. It wasn't a matter of holding it back, and they beat us in extra time, so we knew how dangerous they were. But today, the achievement today for our group is, on today's outcome, is massive. But ultimately, what we know, as Carla said, if we go on in 3 weeks' time and we're not to be victors, no one will remember this game today. So, but from the point of view of the development of the group and personal achievements today's a huge one for them.
Okay, lads. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, guys. You're welcome. All right, cheers.